or I can go live and make it public. Just so you know, we're going live public. So this way, if we want others that are not registered for this class that could view it, we would be able to see it. And it says the content of this meeting, to let you know, is being sent to a third party. That third party is YouTube. So we know that I have YouTube going. If I look at, okay, so we have that available, that we know that it's here. So I have that. I also want to record on my own computer in case, one is that I have access to it in case others are down. So I use to make sure I then record as well using, I'm using MSN Recorder. Later on, you can use others. And I need to select the conversation and record. And I also record using another program called Loom, LLOM, that I'm able to do. And everybody has issues with Wi-Fi, and then we just got to bear with it. I know it myself. Today, my computer just kind of crashed for a minute, and I had to troubleshoot that. So we always are having issues on everything. So I'm recording in Loom, and I want to make sure that I move this down so it isn't interfering with anything that I have. Okay, we got that. All right, everybody ready? Ready, set, go. And let's just make sure for the first week here that everyone understands what's happening. Here's my little part where I give little notepad that I have in the background. And now I go to it. So let's just do basics here that you always know here. Announcements you always have in Blackboard. When I put in a new test, you see, and here was some kind of welcome. And the course syllabus you'll see here. Let me make it off so I see exactly what you see. And here is fall syllabus. The easiest thing is everybody should be signed on Wiley Plus. If anyone's having issues in Wiley Plus, can you put it in the chat or let me know? Unmute yourself and let me know if you've had any problems. For Blackboard, if you need any help, here's the number. For Wiley Plus, here's the live chat here. And under Zoom, you can see under the Zoom meetings, these are all my meetings. Of course, I have it different from you because my role is instructor. Your role is in students. I have where I start. I can delete sessions that I have, but under cloud recordings, you can see, for instance, the first session that was done on Monday already has cloud recordings, and notice it has 5 files. Notice it has a chat file, so everything that you put in the chat gets recorded, an audio file, and some recordings it does, and then a download, and then it has some recording analytics of the download. So they're trying to give me some statistics on that. And you can, anytime you miss a class possibly, or you want to review parts of the class, you can do that. We'll talk about Zoom later on in the session because really I want everybody to be based on Zoom to know what's going on. Really, you always want to look at the what's due section. So you can see here in the readings of information systems for Monday, the adaptive assignment, the Wiley quiz. And let me just talk about the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times. So under Wiley readings and adaptive, make sure if you're having problems, sometimes use the Chrome browser rather than Safari or Firefox. If you have Wiley support problems, I cannot help you because guess what? I don't have access to their server, right? That's the problem with using the cloud. And if it persists, you can text that number as well. Now, you see here, there's the chapters here, and these are chapters from the book, of course, that you can go along and do. And basically, in information systems, and I'll call it IS, there's something called roles. And roles are assigned based on a need to know. So if I think about it, River, my need to know on Wiley is, do you need to know your grade for Wiley Plus, River, what you do?
Wait, what are you asking if I need to know my grade?
Uh-huh.
Um,
Sure, right? You
I
need to
do.
know if you've taken a test, you need to know your grade. So you should have access to your grades, right? Do you need to know what everyone else did in the class?
No.
No, right? Do I need to know what
Yes.
everyone's done in the class? What?
Yeah, you do.
Yes, I do, right? Do I need to know what you've done in other classes?
No, you don't.
No. So I should get permission based on information systems, right? Permission to see your grades of everyone that's registered for my classes, right? But River, I don't need to know what you've gotten in other classes. If I were an advisor to you, right, then I need to know what you've done in other classes to give you guidance, to tell you, what other classes to do to help you with retention or something like that. That's kind of like the area of need to know. So if I look at adaptive assignments and I click on it, you're going to have a different view being the student role versus the instructor role. When you click on it, you'll get the questions to that chapter. When I go and look at it, I see that not everyone has processed this right. Some people haven't started, and I can drill down and I can look at individual students here, right? And seeing that Gabrielle and Noah, right, have completed their project, their assignment. And others haven't started, and some are in progress, and others haven't even signed into Blackboard, so into Wiley Plus. So what is essential for this class is by the end of this session, everyone should have logged in, right, River, to Blackboard. When they're in Blackboard, right, I've logged in, clicked on one of these items under Wiley Reading and Adaptive, and at least gone to the 14-day trial and at least have registered, right? Before we can go on. So that's important. Before you do the adaptive assignment, you also, and let me just tell you, you need to do every week when I make an assignment of what's due, you do the Wiley Reading and the adaptive assignment, and then you have Wiley quizzes. And what's the difference is the Wiley quizzes you can take twice, where it says this safe will resume, this test allows multiple attempts, click begin to start. You can do it twice, right? The last grade that you do gets recorded. You can do this open book, open notes. I don't care how you do it. On the exam day, where we have 2 exams, and when are the exams, Ellie? Do you remember when the exams are?
Is
Check
one of
it
them
out.
on October 9th? Is that one of them?
Yeah, October 9th, and where is it going to be set?
I
In
don't
in
remember.
in person, right? You have to come to the University Coral Gables campus, and it's going to be in the computer lab in Jenkins, SBA 210. So we're going to meet in person, and then it's on November 18th. If you cannot make those dates, I suggest that you take another section or drop the class, because that's a requirement. So that's a requirement in this case. So you can begin the quiz and you can take that. You need to do those. And then you also have the PowerPoints. The PowerPoints, you can view the PowerPoints and you can download the PowerPoints of all the chapters. These kind of are the ways in which we're going to go through the chapters. So the first one, of course, is the introduction, giving you an overview of what is information systems. You know, the first chapter of every book, they give you these overviews of what it's about. Then they go into hardware, software, data acknowledgement, information. You can think about cloud computing. This chapter on artificial intelligence, even if it's later on, we're going to be incorporating that almost from the beginning, talking about artificial intelligence, because that's really something that is going to be integrated in everything in information systems, from our phones to all apps, or to our watches, to any other devices will be there. And we need to discuss it. And the idea, when people are asking, will I lose my job? Jobs will be lost, but other jobs will be gained. And those that can work with it, I think will be doing quite well. So if there's anything in the chats that I need to do, please interrupt me and let me know. So these are the chapters that are done. And then what I asked you to do was also, I'm just going through the course syllabus that you'll be all familiar with, it is web links. And on the web links, I asked you, right, to subscribe, that everyone should have subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, do it right now using your Kane ID to the New York Times and Wall Street Journal online. And let's go to the New York Times first, and you can go as well there. And basically you can see all politics is kind of like the first thing, right? That's big here. I don't want to do politics in this class, but what I do want you to always look at is what? Under business, Andres, you should be looking at tech. And under tech, you'll see some of the things that are coming here. The year of the AI election that wasn't, more than 30 tech companies have pitched AI tools to political campaigns. I don't want to deal with that. How a law that shields big tech is now being used against it. I find that this is kind of interesting, and you can click on it. What I like you to do for Monday is also read this article. Everybody see that? It's on What's Due as well, is how AI can help start small businesses. If I click on this, Andres, is almost so canny that this is like our class. Look at this. Entrepreneurs say use of artificial intelligence for a variety of tasks is accelerating the path to hiring and ideally profitability. And this guy right here is a professor at Carnegie Mellon. Look at that uses generative artificial intelligence to develop their startup ideas. It's just like what we were talking about, right, Andres? And what's interesting here is he's been teaching a class on entrepreneurship, and he has a group of students that start businesses from scratch over the course of the spring semester. And we're in the fall semester. So some of the startups that his 49 students created this year were classic examples of the form: a dating app for couples and long distance relationship, personal fitness app. My students have done that before. My students last semester did a lot of mental health apps, thinking what they can do. Some of them were AI consultants. and basically saying, giving AI advice to businesses, small businesses, certain businesses. Some were in finance who wanted to do like wealth management. And he says basically, for the first time, he encouraged his students to use generative artificial intelligence as part of the process, thinking of generative AI as your co-founder. And then basically students sharing their idea for use cases on dedicated Slack channel. They use generative AI tools such as ChatGPT, GitHub, Copilot, and Flowise AI to help them with tasks including marketing. Remember, we have marketing students here, coding, product development, and recruiting of early customers. By the end, he had venture capitalists, and that's what I have at the end of my semester is I invite also early stage venture capitalists to look at your ideas. And it felt he basically, for all the excitement, the implication, startups, they were able to quickly use it. I see you're going to be doing group activities. I see generative AI tools to be another member of your group. That's how I view it. So what I'd like you to do is basically, this is a short little article that was in here that newer businesses are at a minimum more inclined to experiment with technology. And what I see it, what I'd like you to start looking at is what kind of apps can basically start helping you create businesses. And let's just start doing it. What can help you with market research, job postings, things like that. That's reason to do it. So read this article for Monday and start thinking about this idea in the back of your mind and start looking for and searching. Maybe you can use AI tools to help you of what AI tools can help you generate ideas, help you in planning and writing up. I think it was kind of like almost a coincidence. What do you think, Anders? It's funny, huh?
Yeah, sounds good.
It sounds good, and it's almost watching New York Times write an article about us and some of your projects, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's exactly what we're doing. Maybe even at least we can do the local press to do it. We can do the university. I'm always interviewed by a number of press. Why not have them come into our class and look at it at the end? So that's
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
The other ideas in the Wall Street Journal. Everybody go to the Wall Street Journal, WSJ.com. What I could spell that would be good too, huh? And again here, gearing up for rate hikes. And then basically, they talk about the stocks in this case, but where do we want to go? Is where, Alex? Where do you in the Wall? I know in New York Times I want to go to business tech. Where do I want to go here in the Wall Street Journal? Look at which section? Tech. I mean, if you want to, you can read anything else. I'm not going to discuss, but I like to look at tech. And why do I like to look at tech? Almost on at least a weekly basis to see things are happening so quickly. We're not going to find it in our books. And also, if they're talking about it, you know that it has a little bit more substantial. It's not just out in the thin air. So you can think about, there's those of you who are interested in the legal part, the UK, then Europe's pretty strict on what's the competition. Google's having some issues. If you're into healthcare, what AI could do in healthcare and what it should never do, it's kind of interesting. You may be looking at this, right? And here's my section on, I mentioned before, AMD is trying to compete with NVIDIA with their chip design. right, and more technology that, but this is, if you go down, this is really interesting. Sam Altman, you know who Sam Altman is? Anders, who's Sam Altman?
Yeah, he's the founder of OpenAI.
He's the founder of OpenAI, ChatGPT, right? Look at this. I don't know if you've heard about this. This is an interesting article. As Sam Altman's WorldCoin is battling with governments over your eyes. And basically, he's having some problems here. More than a dozen jurisdictions have either suspended the project's operation or looked into its data processing. But what Sam Altman, right? You're always wondering what he's going to be doing from the AI dominated world. But he basically is scanning your eyeballs of every person on earth and paying them with his own cryptocurrency. They used to start doing it. This is out of this world. They used to start doing it with healthcare. A couple of years ago when blockchain and crypto was just starting, even there was a company in Atlanta, some students came up with that too, that if I use your healthcare data, you can get my coin and then I'll be able to use your healthcare data. So this one, I don't know if it's scary or not, but he's creating models that may end up outsmarting human. His WorldCoin initiative says it's addressing a key risk that could follow. We won't be able to tell people and humans apart, but he's basically, you know, a number of jurisdictions are finding it, but basically you can read that. He's done the Cayman Islands, which is really a lot of people put there, you know, for tax havens and other things. The Cayman Islands, we used to have an MBA in the Cayman Islands, our university. But how does the Cayman Islands registered WorldCoin Foundation handle user data, train its algorithms, and avoid scamming children? So this is kind of an interesting thing, that he's going to be scanning your irises, users in terms of doing online world ID passports to prove they're human. So I can prove that you're human rather than fake, you know, all those fake images, plus payouts with WorldCoin's cryptocurrency. So it's just kind of, the project says it's private, deletes all images. Who knows about that, right? And it's basically kind of interesting here. Their chief privacy officer. So I think novel technology that he's tried. So he's definitely trying in this case to be out there. They tried it like ready, you know, but you know, this is kind of like on those things on terms of Hong Kong has banned it already, finding it was retaining iris images for up to a decade. Argentine authorities launched an investigation citing a lack of information on what they said were abusive use terms. Bavaria, and then basically you go in, a woman has her iris scanned with an orb in Buenos Aires, and WorldCoin plans to make a Argentinian regional hub. So you can see that you almost could do a debate on that, but it's kind of out there, huh? Countering the greatest risk of AI. So he has his own WorldCoin. Look at the investments of it. Talk about it, huh? It is having some issues, but they keep on trying this. I know a number of people that tried it in healthcare, and these companies went under. But it's interesting that he's tried that. So I definitely want you to read the first article. Those interested, you can kind of see where the future, where they're going to put stopping to it, you know, of this AI. Okay. Any comments, questions from the audience? So
Somebody just asked if
Yeah.
the second exam is the 13th or the 18th.
I think it's listed as the 18th. Am I not in the course syllabus? Let's look. Let's just check it out. I was under the impression it was the 18th, but let's see. November 18th. Okay, so you can respond. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, so November 18th is exam 2 and October 9th. And then the following week is Thanksgiving, right? We have class online on November 25th, but it doesn't matter that, the university, I guess, is dismissed for that following week. You can be anywhere. And then after Thanksgiving, we come back for only one day. And that one day we come back is presenting our projects. So right there, probably that's why I wanted to spend time on the 18th. So on the 20th, we can already start, finishing up our projects. Like these 2 dates, finishing up our projects, the November 20th and 25th, and be ready to do it. And December 2nd, how I operate is we do it online. Each of it, we'll do it on Zoom. I'll give you feedback, and then after I give you feedback, you'll do a separate recording with your adjustments and with your modifications, and do a final presentation. Sometimes on December 2nd, I'll do like a quick rundown just to give you quick feedback, and then you'll do a more substantial recording so you can reuse it. So if you have a viable idea, you can reuse it. What I love about our class is, what are you going to do with an exam once it's finished? You understand, Alex? What are you going to do once you finish the exam? Who wants to see your exam again? But if you had a great idea of your project, you could actually throw it out and say, hey, maybe somebody wants to invest in it or use it, or you can even show as part of your portfolio, hey, I have a website and we've done an app. This is something that you can be proud of and show, or as a beginning, so I like that to spend in. It's the same thing with the exams. People are asking me about the exams, what the exams cover. Let me just tell you again here, the exams each of them are 20%. They're going to be 2 parts. One is like the quizzes, multiple choice part, and the other is I give you 2 open-ended questions. What I do for the review, based on our assignments, based on additional readings, I'll put up like 4 possible questions that I'll ask you. You'll have it ahead of time. And then I'll choose among those 4, I'll choose 2 questions to give you. Because you think about it, Alex, there's so much out there. You don't want to be just cold-hearted. Oh, what is she going to ask me? I mean, and every week something changes. I'd rather what it's going to cover. And then the exams are in the lab, and they are closed book, closed internet. It's just what you have, but the quizzes that you can do, that's not timed. You can search wherever you want to get the answers. My thing. Is that clear, Alex?
Yeah, that's clear.
Okay, good. So I just wanted to make sure that I had that, but thank you for asking that we can do it. And then you can see the Zoom meetings. We saw the recordings. The what's due, you can then check. Then in the what's due, you can see then I added read this article, and then search on these articles of what possible tools you can possibly use for that. Then it's kind of like the beginning, because that's what you're going to be doing in the class. I figure, why not start off early? And then the other part, so you can see on the web link, the other part is on PowerPoints and documents. So in this case, you have all the PowerPoints for each of the chapters in the direction that we're going to do. So of the introduction. So you can download any of the PowerPoints, and the PowerPoints, basically, if you start from the beginning here, is basically talking about information systems in general, computer-based information systems, how are workers going to be used, how it is. And And among those, they have opening cases. I'm not so concerned about these opening cases for you, but it's more about how it looks in terms of they're trying to kind of sell you on information systems and how they use it, that what they call MIS, it really stands for, there's a whole bunch of acronyms that you'll see available. And when you're looking at MIS, it stands for management information system. There's so many acronyms here. And there's been the traditional ones that the management of when they call the traditional function, traditionally of the management information systems department, it really is of an organization. And sometimes when you think about it, you can put this in your notes. Sometimes instead of an organization, they'll use the term enterprise. An enterprise, you can think about it as like a large organization. So is this university, if you think about it, Gabrielle, is the university an example of an enterprise? Our university. I can't hear you. We're being recorded.
Yes.
Yes, it's basically, and what do we think about an enterprise? Is you think about several departments, just like you think about the business school, there's several departments in the university. You think about in the idea, who are our customers? Our customers are our students, right? And then we also have an enterprise. We have even a what? We have a medical school, and a medical school, we have a hospital, and think about just running that hospital. That's another enterprise that we think about. And traditionally, you had a group that basically took care of all the IT needs of an enterprise. And what's happening is a lot of times it's going lower, that the end users are also having their own computing, and sometimes that traditional function isn't being used. So basically they have to evolve too, that people get so upset with this traditional MIS department, or sometimes they call it IT department, that they're saying, hey, we should be basically maybe managing outsourcing. Maybe we should be educating our non-staff about security. Maybe we should manage their internet. Maybe we should create strategies. So that's kind of it. And then they talk about the traditional computer bases. They base it down to infrastructure. And then you can look at, basically in the bottom of these slides, they have notes there that you can think about it. It's based on the infrastructure. I have components, I have personnel. That means I have people that work in IT, and I give them services. So for instance, now you all have what kind of email? Has your email changed, Daniela, for the university?
Yeah, it's Gmail now.
It's Gmail now. So you think, who cares, right? Let me just show you who cares. If I go to my, and guess what? And faculty and staff, do you think they would have Gmail? What do you think? I'm faculty. So do I have Gmail? What do you think then, Louisa?
Yes.
You would think so. And guess what? If you see here, what does this look like? Does this look like Gmail?
No.
No, it doesn't. And and you say, who cares, right? So I have an email here, right? I've always had my email where my Outlook, I also send it to my personal Gmail account. It used to work beautifully. And now I got somebody from BTE210-J, right? And look at this. What does it say? Office 365, a custom mail flow rule created by admin. Is that me, Anders? No, right? It's administrator that I have at miamiedu.onmicrosoft.com has blocked your message. Please use your email account to send emails, and then look how to fix it. They give me all this fix it, more info for email admins, right? And then notice my sender address is srushine@biz.miami.edu. Recipient address, I wanted it before. It would also go, just so you all know, you can send me directly. My Gmail account is drsrush@gmail.com. The subject is the schedule, right? Error, right? Look at all this. Exchange, where it's gone to, the Google, right? Messages. Can you imagine? And then this is from you, Anders. Do you understand? Where all this stuff, right? The only good thing is I got to see it, at the end, but I have to go through all this. And then sometimes I used to just look at my regular Gmail and I had a duplicate. Now I don't even have duplicates. So what did I have to do? I had to call IT services, waste my time. Notice that I'm irritated, waste my time. First tier doesn't know what to do. They promoted to the second tier and then say, okay, now let's, and there's into such high security. I had a problem with, I'm working from home, so I don't have the internet security. So he wanted to get into my screen, but I don't have the proper security. So we had finally, after 15 minutes, he opened up a Zoom session, and he was able, I shared my screen. But those are the issues that when we think about PowerPoints, right, of overview of the personnel, right, that when they make one change, guess what? You think, number one, Louisa, that I would have, if they're going to switch everybody to Gmail, they would switch everybody to Gmail. Now, if somebody has an Outlook account and sends me into Outlook, I have no problem. So you can see how many different problems there that can occur that can drive you crazy. And then they have like, we know that we're going to get data all the time. And what are we going to need to know for any type of machine learning? Is what do we need to do? We need to have some data. We need to find patterns. We need to know the difference. So if you want to, you can also even look at the notes here and you can see the difference. What's the difference between data, information? Refers to data being organized. And knowledge, it's being processed, accumulated learning. So when you're asking me what can be on the exam, it would be like questions on not only what's the difference between data, information, and knowledge, but that you could apply it. That, if you just got a number 70, it would be something versus, how else, what would be meaningful there for your information and for knowledge. So these are kind of things that you look at on computer-based systems that you can think about. Also the hardware, the software, networks, databases, how they're arranged. I need to get my data. And then again, the artificial intelligence and hardware is becoming more going to be incorporated. I'm going to have new chipsets. I'm going to now have new laptops that will be AI infused. And what are the procedures? What is the procedures? What are the procedures when I find something like with my email? What do I do? I'm the end user. You guys send me an email. I assumed I would get it in my Gmail account. I didn't. And then I see all these errors and I have to flip through all of these. Who do I go to? And even when I reported it, is it going to get done? It could be sitting in some pile here. So you can see in the whole idea of inside your organization. And right here, you see here in the business intelligence systems dashboards, basically they're saying it's going to be more intelligent. It's going to be giving me a dashboard of what? On my need to know. If I'm the CFO, I'm going to get a different dashboard than if I'm the marketing director. If I'm the instructor, I'm going to get a different dashboard. If I'm the president of the university, if I'm the CFO of the university, if I'm the student advisor, it's going to be different. And if I'm a student, and if I'm a student in BTE as a BTA major versus a finance major versus two majors, that it should be there. And then you can think about it, their components that make it up, and what are the capabilities of those systems. So you can read through this. And if I look at any of these charts, if I look at, in this case, if I look at Ava, if I look at any of these charts, you see here that looks like a cloud. You see that, Ava? On this one, it says IS, which stands for Information Systems that function among multiple organizations. So if I have multiple organizations, meaning I have suppliers, I have my organization, I have my customers. In our case, our customers could be our patients from the hospital, or it could be our students, right? And I have business to business, electronic what does this represent? Why is this a cloud? What does it represent, you think, Ava?
The cloud.
The cloud, right? The internet.
Yeah.
What is the cloud really? We all say it, the cloud. What is it really? It's an internet connection to another server somewhere outside my organization, or it's an internet connection outside my own domain. That's what a cloud is, right? And there's advantages to that, but there's disadvantages, right? What are the disadvantages, Anders, of being everything in the cloud?
I guess the biggest disadvantage would probably be that you won't have it locally on a computer, and you can easily lose it if maybe you don't have connection or something. It's then
Right.
you can't really
Sometimes,
access
have
it.
you ever been in a hurricane?
Yeah.
You're at the university, right? What happens when they have a hurricane? No internet connection, right? There's no internet connection. What I can do, I can have backup. Also, can the server somewhere else not have internet connection? Can it be an earthquake somewhere? Can it be a hurricane somewhere that I don't have internet connection? So these are issues. Can it be maybe some more vulnerability that can, who wants to hack me versus maybe hack Amazon or hack somewhere else, hack Zoom or something, right? You hear it all the time. Have you the CrowdStrike? Remember that? Where I couldn't even operate, and think about if you were a hospital and you're someone in your family was going to be operated on. We don't even know, are we operating on the right side or the left side? Can you imagine in the middle of the operating room, right? What's the next procedures? So you want to also have those backups that we can kind of think about. And then they talk about the internet. They talk about edge computing, kind of like the internet on the edge, that I'm bringing it further down. That's why we were also talking about before, like having it local to my phone, right? Some of the things that I want on my phone running, and that's why we were talking about those small language models versus those larger language models, getting it smaller and smaller. So you can see that this is kind of like what you kind of see here on support for employees. What are the types? And you can see here types of transaction processing systems. They talk about this as a acronym. What do they call it? They call that acronym, they're going to call it TPS, right? Transaction processing system. And you know that. Why? Have you ever gone, in this case, River, have you ever gone like to Publix or Whole Foods? River.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, of course, or CVS or whatever. And what are they doing when you go to, or when you check out on your own, right? You go to all those checkout stands. What are you doing? You're scanning those items of the point of sale, and that's a transaction processing system. And once that's transaction processing system, those are transactions. And then they have another type of system that we'll go through, and again, is an enterprise resource planning, and everything has an acronym, right? This is called ERP. That's an acronym system of an ERP that makes like on the university has an enterprise resource planning. So there's something called Workday Miami.edu. Workday is a company, and notice I have to log in, I have to give my, my Duo. But if I just go to workday.com, that's an ERP, analyze like a HR part. But what do these look like? They have Workday for, it's an ERP, it's an example of one of the more popular ones. It's an ERP, enterprise research planning for organizations, for enterprises. And notice what they do, financial management. What does this look like? A dashboard. Human capital management, it's basically HR, right? What does this look like? A dashboard. Adaptive planning, all of these are on dashboards, and then they basically have for different industries. Streamlining through acquisitions of Franklin, be ready, what's coming next. PwC, skills with what? Tracking with machine learning. What is machine learning? Machine learning is teaching the computer to learn patterns. And what? And machine learning is to learn by our mistakes. And then you can see that this talk with us, and you can see for finance, some of you are in for HR, we use it for HR. And notice what they use, what word, Anders? Artificial intelligence. Not one company isn't going to do it. Your people are AI, called the Dream Team. At Workday, AI is the core of our platform. That's part of your workflow. It powers intelligent predictions and automation like no one else. Whether this works or not, that's another story. But every company today has to feel like they have to put in the word AI, and they're using it for what? To power intelligent prediction. And they put a person here because what is it? All these people are saying, hey, you're taking my job away. And guess what, Alexandra? Is that they basically are. But they're couching it. So maybe instead of 20 people online, they'll have 5 people online, which will be basically working together with the AI. And part of these jobs will be taken away. And there's AI, then there's AI the work way, intelligence becomes the standard. This is a bunch of AI with integrity, because what's ML? Stand for machine learning. We're upfront with our customers. You can tell all of this is marketing goopity goop. But I'm not going to say BS, but this you can see is what people are afraid of, and they're writing it. We're upfront with our customers. That means that everybody thinks that they're hiding something. I'm telling you, like the other side, about how our ML, our machine learning models are developed, because everybody's saying, I don't know what's behind the machine, and assessed. And we always leave the financial decision making to whom, Parker? To humans, never AI. Because everybody's saying there will be nobody, Alexandria, it'll be like nobody's in my company left. So, and why in the world would you want to buy this product if they're going to be taking away your job? So they're saying, don't worry, honey. It's going to be to the humans, or never AI, right? But I believe that when I'll sell you something else. And everything you need to know about enterprise AI. And then they have this guy, he's smiling too. Okay. So this was done in the future of work is less drudge. So how they're trying, and part of it is, right, it's that you'll have a happy workplace, Parker, and it won't be drudgery. Who wants drudge work? Nobody. Maximize your people's potential. Notice they put people in here. Faster finance, fewer errors. Who wants errors? AI-led tech, ethics. That's a big thing now. I'm ethical. And then there basically, we got the office of the CFO, we got the office of whatever, CIO and so forth, AI built into Go. So find me any company that is publicly traded or not, they're going to have a part in AI. Okay, so as I went with that PowerPoint, I just wanted to show you, which is interesting on that PowerPoint, on how does it impact organizations here? How does IT impact organizations? You could replace this slide and say, how does AI impact organizations? And it's the same idea, reduce the number of middle managers, changes the manager's job, eliminate jobs, impacts employees at work. I could change that. So that's that first chapter, kind of giving you an overall what you're going to do. And you can see, let me stop sharing. You can see in my case, what I want to infiltrate is you do the readings, and then we're going to infiltrate through all of this is where does AI come in, and we're going to actually get our hands dirty and actually try a lot of this out. That you can come away and think about what really works, what can really, we're in such a nascent area now. It's just the beginning, AI's machine learning's been around for a long time, but with the generative AI, it's quite new. And how do you train your models? How do you, there are real fears among that are legitimate that companies have is, what are you going to do with my data? I don't want my competitor to see my data. I don't want to have my data out there, but I want to use my data. And just because you say that my data is secure, don't worry about it. I'm going to worry about it because you hear every day, right? Somebody's been hacked. Our university has been hacked. Why do we have all these Duo Mobile and I have all these different restrictions put on me? Is because we've been hacked. All universities, it's like looking for it. We also have a hospital. You think they want our data on the hospital? Sure do. And what they do is now they have these guys. Anybody hear of ransomware? What's ransomware? Anybody hear about it? Max, have you heard about it?
Yeah.
Everybody go Google it. Ransomware in hospitals, for instance. What's beautiful about this class is you have computer, you're on a computer, right? So you should just, everybody look at it, see what you get. Ransomware, even in the biggest industry it does is healthcare. Why healthcare? Ransomware in healthcare. What do you find? What do you find, Kareem? When you Google it or you find ChatGPT or Gemini or something, what do you find?
It's saying that it prevents you from accessing your data. I'm just searching healthcare.
Yeah, and do in healthcare. What are the major things? Why do they want healthcare? That's a major one. And when it's ransomware, it's almost like ransom. If you ever heard of it, God forbid, somebody, you go out to the university, go to your car, and somebody picks you up, right? And kidnaps you, right? And calls your parents and saying, I have your precious daughter or son, right? And what do they want? We want a ransom, and how did they want to pay you, right? So it's the same thing. They capture your computers, right? And they say, hey, you want your data? Pay up. And how do they pay? What do you think, Jordan? How are they paying in ransom? These guys that I never even know who they are, they're probably not down the street. They may be in who knows what country in the world that are
Cash or
asking
Bitcoin.
right? They don't ask me, send it, go ahead, Dr. Rush, go to Citibank and bring $300 or something. No, they want Bitcoin. And a lot of these, and do you think they pay? What do you think, Jordan?
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Not
ends
the
up
choice.
a lot of these companies, you know what they do? They these hospitals, they have a Bitcoin account. Because they're basically paying for this, because guess what? And they don't ask for that much. Sometimes they ask 30,000, 50,000. One operation at the University of Miami, right? They charge more than that, for transplant or for heart transplant or something. So it's for them. Hey, it's worthwhile. Give me back my system. Give me back my data. So why is it? Because they don't have enough controls, some of these hospitals, and also they're easy targets, like easy picking. Like, have you ever heard, Jordan, like low hanging fruit that they have, Okay, so everybody got the idea. Anything else? My chat moderators that I need to address for anybody before we take attendance? You got the idea how the class is going to be? I'd love to have you. If you don't like how the class is going to be, trust me, I won't be insulted. And sometimes there's a good match, sometimes there isn't. It's like those apps, right? Swipe left, swipe right. You can swipe however you want, and it may not be right for us. It may not be a good match, and for someone else it is. So those that want it, but what I do insist on, that everybody does the work. You may not have it completely know it. And what else I do too, it's in a collaborative, for our assignments, it's a collaborative effort. That if you're having problems and you know it, be generous and help others. Just the opposite. But you don't want to, but the slackers who haven't done anything and say, I'm going to be, and I have that too, where they haven't done any work, and at the end, oh, I'm here, give me a slide to read, on the PowerPoint, they will get penalized. They will not get the same grade as others in the group. And you all know how groups have been in the past. You'll have, 2 people that work and 3 people that are looking for a ride. In this class, there's no free rides. So if you want to kind of explore, get your hands dirty, sometimes I say, eat your own dog food. I work with a number of companies and say, hey, you got to try out your own systems to see how it is. That's how it is. Okay, so stay with me if you have any questions. And Amelie and Anders, if you stay with me, and anyone else that wants to be a teaching assistant in training, they basically are kind of looking at some of the assignments early, and these folks will then help other students. If you want to do that, stay with me. If you have any other questions, feel free to do that. Anything else? So let me share my screen. Let's do attendance. So I try to end a little bit early since other people have other classes, other things to do. Let me go back. Make sure I'm in the right section. Attendance. I'll start checking. Check in, check out. Start checking. You get a PIN number. Once you get the PIN number, once you register with that, you're welcome to leave. Can't believe it's our first week, so I just wanted to give an overview of what this class is going to be like. Okay. So I wish
you,
everybody a
Professor.
happy week and a good
Thank
stay
you.
safe. Okay,
Thank you, Professor.
my
Thank
pleasure.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you for attending. It's going to be a mutual collaboration. If you don't want to collaborate, this is not the class for you. And we got to be generous with what we know, because everybody has different strengths.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you. Okay, Nicole, you have a question?
Sorry, I just had to sign into my account to do the attendance, but
Yeah.
I just did it just now.
Perfect,
Thank you.
my pleasure.
I
And
have,
Louisa, what's your question?
yes, so are we gonna have to memorize like all of the acronyms and things from the chapters? I just want to know what to focus on when I'm like taking
Well,
notes.
first of all, what I would do is I go through the PowerPoint a bit. And then I would do the adaptive assignment and the quizzes first. Let's do that and focus in on that.
Okay,
And I'll go before the exam, I'll have like a study guide of listings of what you need to do. Okay.
perfect. What's the
Yeah, because
format?
there's so much there, right?
Yeah,
It's huge. So basically, that's what I would start with. Start the adaptive assignments, start the quizzes, go through, and things that you don't understand, bring them up in class, and then I'll tell you, don't worry about it, or I'll explain it, or something is not clear for you. Okay.
okay, and what's
Appreciate
the format of the exams?
I told you it's multiple choice. A lot of it's going to be the first part is going to be similar to the quizzes that you have online. And the other part will be 2 open-ended questions.
That's the one you said you'll give us like 4 options.
Yeah, 4 questions, and then I'll choose from 2.
Perfect.
Because I
Thank you.
figure like 2 open-ended questions, I mean, that's like, the whole world. How could you study for that? So this way you can, of things that we've covered, we've done in assignments, we've done additional readings, kind of overview questions that we have, you'll have it. So it's more targeted.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
And then you can I allow students to decide. Some students, when you do it, they want, I give you a choice that you can do the open-ended questions first or do the multiple choice first. And some students that have, done it, some of the better students say, I want to do the open-ended first because it's in my mind already. You know what I mean? I know what I'm going to do. And when they see the question, oh, I know what that is. And they like to get that over with. But other people say, I'd rather get the multiple choice over and then spend time. But so I give you a choice, but you can't go back and forth. So you can't say, oh, I'll do a little bit of the open end and go back here, back there. Once you do it, you submit, and then you submit just like a test. But in this case, you're timed. If some students get more time for, other issues, they bring me documentation and they'll get more time. But otherwise, people finish. It's not like, you know what I mean? So I make sure people finish early.
Okay.
Because you kind of know it ahead of time. Like the 2 open questions, I know what those were. I can respond. Okay?
Yes. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so let me stop sharing. Did you guys sign in already? Yeah, let me just do recording, stop recording. Yes. And stop recording. What else do I need to stop? I need to stop my Loom. So many recordings, I need to make sure I stop. Okay. And my Loom worked out well. Good. Okay. So what's up, guys? I heard, Amelie, that you tried to do a YouTube channel and you have to wait 24 hours.
I didn't have to wait 24 hours though.
Okay, did it work? Did you
Yeah,
get it?
I just selected live streaming and it was not even 5 minutes.
Okay, great. And did you try it out in Zoom?
I did not try it out in Zoom.
Okay, so one of the things is you want to go to that I didn't go over today, but zoom.miami.edu and go to settings, and by default under settings it's off the live stream, so you have to turn it on before you do it.
Okay.
So that will do. So this way, why I'm doing it is all the collaborative tools. So this way you can help other students. Everybody can help each other in Zoom. Plus, it's the idea, even for your project, you can make like a Zoom, right? You can do Zoom, and then you can have live at the same time. You can stream live to your
Yeah.
Facebook and to others, and basically you make a brand, and do it later on. You can also do, even podcasts and things like that. You can use different versions to kind of basically get your work done. So
Nice.
basically, I want to make everybody that has all the tools, then I want to have everybody in Zoom be able that they know how to do polls, they know how to do surveys, they know how to remote help somebody in Zoom, because Zoom is great in order, not only sharing the screen, that you can give, if you give permission, you can take over my screen, I can take over your screen, right? It's almost like those help logins. Basically have the whole 9 yards in the background to know how to use it.
Awesome.
Okay, so then, and then what your roles are, we're deciding how to place you. I'm just discussing it with Daniel, and you may want to do it, is whether to have both of you in the same group, or both of you, or you be in different groups to help others, or you be in a group on your own, and then when we do breakouts, since you've done it, you can go, maybe that'll be a good idea, is you can go and help as we do breakout groups. You can kind of go to each of those groups. You can take half the class. We can divide it up into thirds. I take a third of the class, you take a third, and help them with
Yeah.
their projects and things like that.
Cool.
Could be.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So that was my idea. So what I thought it would be interesting, maybe, is next week, is that you can show Anders
Yep.
the difference in just even this, with all the students can do. It's not talking about APIs and and coding, but rather start off simple of what they can, what are the difference of having the paid version of ChatGPT versus the free version, and maybe just a
Yeah.
short presentation.
I mean, like now, because with 4.0, they made it so cheap to operate that now the difference between the pay version and the free version is that you just get more messages per hour in the paid version, really.
Okay, so just show
But
them.
yeah, but also like you can sign up. Like I'm on the wait list for the search GPT function, and that's like something you need to have the plus version for if you want to sign up for that and all that stuff.
Yeah, so just give them an overview.
Yeah.
Share your screen, and that'll be a nice added thing. When do you want to do it for next? You want to do it on Monday or Wednesday?
I can do it on Monday, yeah.
Yeah, be prepared for Monday, and if we just don't
Yeah.
have enough time, we'll postpone it for Wednesday. It'd be nice. Just give a short presentation showing people. I think
Yeah,
that'll
sounds
be
good.
great. And you know what'll be great, Anders, is we'll record it.
Yeah.
And then you can even record on your own,
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
on your and then use it. My whole idea is reusability.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, you want to be able to reuse, repackage.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you do a presentation, who cares about, a presentation for BTE210? But yeah, that's a valuable part that I could really, a lot of
Yeah.
people don't know it, right?
Yeah.
That you could be then my expert, my AI expert. And if you give it
Yeah.
out free in the beginning, say, hey, he really knows. Now let me hire him.
Yeah, exactly. Also, like I could also show like the different AIs, like Gemini, like Llama 3.1 and Grok,
Yeah.
and like all those.
Yeah, and you can even break it down into small segments, like every week show something else.
Yeah.
It's almost like everybody wants it consumable, like in 5 minutes.
Like an AI crash course.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
right.
Awesome.
Start bringing it up. AI crash course for non-technical people, business people. And that's what everybody do. Somebody just contacted me. I was assigned to be a speaker at a huge AI conference, and then they have what it is. It's like networking. Some bottom line, somebody contacted me, and they were applied mathematics PhD. He was into a company, and Accenture bought their company. And what was interesting is I think he got fired, but nobody says they got fired. I'm a consultant. So I asked him, what can you do? Oh, I'm in supply chain and also Gen AI. So what can you do? And when I drilled down, he just said Gen AI because he knows it happened. Oh, and then what do? I give to non-tech, I give a non-technical 1-day seminar.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a lot you can even look at. Udacity does it. So many of the other ones have this, but this
Mhm.
is really even a half day, an hour. This is what people want.
Yeah.
So
Actually, I had
come on, go ahead.
sorry. No, I had a long talk with my brother because he just graduated from Syracuse and he was a business analytics major, and he coded a lot of neural networks. So like he can
Right.
code AI, but he didn't put anything about AI in his resume. And I was like, you need to put AI on your resume.
Everywhere. Right.
Yeah.
And so many people do not know a damn thing about it. And they put
Exactly.
AI all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like products are there, and I go around and I consult with all these products. I said, "Where's AI in there?" There's no AI in there. You understand? But it's I need that buzzword. So when somebody really does that, I did the same thing with working with someone that they put
Yeah.
in. I said, your resume looks like that you can serve coffee. You have, you know what I mean? You can be a receptionist or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And they
It was
forget.
just funny to me.
No, but I'm just saying, but they don't think about it, but
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
exactly.
but if you have it, so I'm saying this guy, I said, well, you may be able to come to my class, but you have to, I told him, if you want to come to my class, tell me what you want to do and give me an assignment of what you would give to the students. And then all of a sudden, just don't waste, it's almost like don't waste my time, don't waste your
Yeah.
time, just to go, to
Yeah,
see it.
exactly.
And then I asked him, I said, do you know how to program? He goes, no, I have somebody else. And what can you do? But that's what everybody's going to ask you. What can you do for me? And even just
Yeah,
that
exactly.
thing, I love it, Amelie, that you said that you really could, you could be, your group project could be AI consultants. And one of our products are AI crash course, and then have little video clips there.
Yeah.
Even on your channel and then you could put it on a number of different channels, right?
Yep.
What you could have a number of social media, you could put it on TikTok, you put a number of different things of what you could say is what it is, and then how do I and show me how it's going to help me. Not just show me the llama or just show me the chat GPT. How is this going to help me in my business? Be more efficient, right? Increase sales, closer to my customer, all the things, right?
You actually put me
What?
on a whole rabbit hole of, okay, how can AI work with the industry that I want to go into? Like, how can it improve it? And so I actually asked ChatGPT, and then
Right.
from there just started brainstorming.
Right. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Those things are basic. I see it as one of your
Yeah, I love it.
and that's how people should be operating, not
Yeah,
getting
see,
away
like,
from it, but it's basically where the three of us, there should be a number of AI helpers here, right? To
Mhm.
listen to, and then what's interesting, I like it with the voice is one can talk to the other
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
and hear the other. You understand that it's a one, and then I can make it first generically what I can do, and then specifically for that interesting. But there are a number of ways that I can do it generically,
Yes.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That it can work for everybody. It's almost like when you think about anything automation, right? That I want to get tools, tricks, and tips for anybody working, right? That will help
Yeah.
me.
I have another class, so I have
Yeah.
to run.
Yeah, but we got the idea.
Yes, definitely. And I'll also email you my schedule. That's on my
Yeah, email and then put that in, and then think about, I'm debating that maybe it'd be good that you be in the same group, and then your group, it's almost then when you do you're a little ahead, then you can even show your work
Yeah.
Yeah.
to the students, and then they say, oh, I see what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Are you saying like Anders and I are in a group and it's like just the two of us, or
we can we'll start either you
Okay.
two in group and then bring another two group. We also can see who's really, we have other students. You may get to know other students, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who seems to be really dedicated, who seems to be, sharp, who seems to be,
Yeah.
the best of the best, want to do well,
Yeah.
you've been in classes, the variability of
Mhm.
your students, you know what I mean? Your colleagues, right? It's a big gap there.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure.
You know what I mean? So you don't want to be pushing, you know what I mean? You don't want to be doing it and you got two people that don't want to do anything and they're waste to be in your group. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
another,
Yeah.
if you had another, sometimes you can do more with 2 people than 4 people where the other 2 are just slackers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we'll think about it, but make it, right now we're open on it, but I think it'd be great and then record it that we can do it. So we got here the head honcho is coming in. And
I
it's
need
great.
I need to
You
run,
need to
but I
go,
will talk to
Amelie,
you
but
guys
we
later.
got the idea.
Yep.
Okay.
Bye.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you. Okay, so we got some things under. You want to tell Daniel what you're going to be doing for next week?
Yeah, so next week on Monday, I'll do a little presentation on the difference, like the main differences between like the paid version of ChatGPT and the unpaid versions. And also I'll
Okay.
just do like a little quick presentation on just like the differences on the other AI style, like Llama and like Gemini and like Grok. I still can't say Grok, like the Elon
Grok.
Musk's AI. Grok, yeah.
Okay, so give and we said that he can do it like in 5-minute segments, so he can use it. And Amelie came up with the idea. It's almost like a crash course in AI, and he can
Okay.
record them in like 5-minute,
Yeah.
segments or 10-minute segments, and put that as part of the projects, of AI
That would be
for
great.
business, and
Yeah.
then have it nice of already as he's going through, have it as part of his portfolio of
Cool.
possible courses, and
That would
then
help a lot of people.
right.
Yeah.
But I'm
That's
just
the
saying not
goal.
only our class, but the world,
Yeah.
Exactly.
that it's generic, that it's beyond our class. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you could
I
have it
preach to sorry.
right.
That's like, yeah, I was just saying I preach to as many of my friends as I can, like get on board with AI, like get up to date with
But
AI,
I'm just saying, but now record it and now have them in segments.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we can talk about it, and there's so much and you haven't described enough. And then you can get feedback. Oh, this is not clear. Right now I
Yeah.
see that I'm so high up, and what the average person does, you're blowing them away.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to make it sometimes breaking it down. You do one take and then you can do another take, just like anything else that you just keep on improving it. Some it's good just to get out that it doesn't cost you anything. And even if it's not that good, you don't have to even after a while you don't have to post everything,
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, great. Anything else, Daniel? That
No, I don't think so. Do you need me
we were
to do
thinking
anything?
about both of them being in a group, and then when
Okay.
they do the assignment, they can then be like the lead, almost like what you did last semester. You can show
Yeah.
like your activities beforehand. And then
Yeah.
I told them we can reach out if they're going to just be 2. We can reach out and maybe find another 1 or 2. We don't want to
Yeah.
be that big.
I
That
was thinking about it as you told me to, and
Yeah.
I think it makes sense for them to be in the group. That way they can be ahead and there won't be any
yeah,
issues.
no, and I think they
Yeah.
can be like, and also it's more exciting for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they don't have it. And then they can get, what another skill is, Anders, is basically, and I think Daniel has improved on it, and all my TA have, is not even the knowledge they get from the course, but even of supervising, of teaching, right? Is those skills that you never practiced on. And then you get
Yeah.
better, more self-confident, right? Of presenting yourself, of
Mhm.
doing that. So it's not only the knowledge there, but how you do it, how you communicate, how do you motivate,
Yeah, exactly.
Of course.
I feel like
how do you
maybe
be
that
a
could also
leader?
like
How do you
translate to like
be, what?
no, sorry, I was just saying I feel like that could maybe also translate to like sales skills or something like that,
Well, more than even sales skills, more in so many skills, and managing skills,
Yeah.
And presenting skills. Because if you can't present what you're doing, nobody's going to, it's almost like you're saying with the venture, if I don't understand it, why should I invest in you? If I
Exactly.
understand you,
Yeah.
and if you can be useful. Okay, great. And okay, so we'll see you on Monday, and you can
Sounds
reach
good.
out to Daniel if you for the next assignment and so forth, and I'll just speak with
Yeah, I
Daniel.
sent the assignment via email. If you could just take a look at it. let me know.
Yeah. I saw you sent like an updated version of it, like
Yeah.
just earlier. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so look at it so we can get feedback before we start. So we
Sounds
have
good.
it for Monday, okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
great.
I'll see you
Keep
guys
up
on
with it.
Monday. Thank you.
See you, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.